Tonight on the Into the Dark After Show, we're talking about our New Year's episode, New Year, New You. So excited to get into this crazy twist of an episode. Plus, we have a very special guest. Stay with us. The After Show starts now.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
I love this song.
It's great.
And these lights. This is perfect. Thank you so much, Josh, in the booth.
One
the
of my
lights.
favorite.
Yes. I did get the pleasure of seeing this live. It was awesome. And it kind of sets the tone for this episode.
Absolutely it does.
This was a really, really fun episode.
Yeah.
I love the theme of this. First of all, welcome back to the Into the Dark After Show. We've done Thanksgiving, we've done Christmas, now we're doing New Year's, and we're here with a very special guest. We have Cecil Gentry, who is the product designer, joining us today.
Production designer.
Production designer.
Yep.
Did I say that? I just said production designer. Production designer with us here today, and I'm super excited to talk to him a little bit about this because he has actually done the body, Puka, and New Year, New You, plus some ones coming up that I'm super excited to see. He's done the Valentine's Day episode, I believe it's called Down.
Yep.
He's done the April Fool's Day episode, I'm Just Effing With You.
You got it.
Can't wait to see that one. Father's Day episode, They Come Knocking. And then you haven't
Which we're shooting now.
You're shooting that now.
Yeah, we're shooting that now, yeah.
And you haven't started shooting 4th of July yet, which is Crossing.
Absolutely.
And that's coming. That's going to be the next one.
That'll be the next one, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So you've really worked on a lot of this show.
Yeah.
My favorite so far has been Puka, although I have really loved New Year, New You. And I've seen this show every time. It's been 3 of them so far, and the twists still get me.
Yeah.
They still get me.
Yeah.
The body had less of a big twist, more of a cool little twist at the end there that I really liked. But I liked that it felt very Halloween-y. It felt very like slasher horror kind of thing, which was really cool. And I liked Puka was very psychological.
It was.
What was it? First of all, maybe before we jump into all of that, for people out there who might not know, tell us a little bit about what a production designer exactly does.
Okay, so basically it's my job to tell the story visually. I mean, what you're looking at, what you see on the big screen or on the television, anything that's presented in front of you is telling the story in a visual format, and that's what I'm responsible for. So it's a bit of interior design. It's, there's a prop department that I head up, and then construction. So it's basically all of the visual elements. And there's a huge conversation between myself, the director, and the costume designer, and also the director of photography. And together, we put it all together.
Wow. And that's a really big job.
It's a big job. Yeah, it's a big job. There's a lot of responsibility. I have a responsibility to the studio. In this case, is Blumhouse, and then also the network, which is Hulu. So, there's a monetary responsibility, but it's great. I'm not complaining at all. It's amazing.
No, and I mean, you've done a fantastic job too. I think everything has fit so well, and visually it's been, I know I'm going back to Puka. We're talking about New Year, New You tonight, which I loved.
Yeah.
Puka though the visuals were such a big thing. And did you have a very big hand in creating the actual Puka, which was, he was huge.
Absolutely. I had never designed a toy before, and there's a really supportive producer, our showrunner / creative producer, Alexa Fagan, said, you can do it. You can do this. And so, I hired an illustrator, a sketch artist, and we came up with a few concepts and submitted to the network and submitted to Blumhouse, and they came back with notes, and then the director came on and he had his notes, and together we all sort of put this thing together. And then based on the toy, we had the walk-around suit built, the costume designer. But it was quite a process, and it was loads of fun.
Yeah, and it was so creepy. You did such a good job in making a toy look so menacing, even from the beginning when it's supposed to be this interesting toy. I was like, "Ooh, this thing is so creepy looking."
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of a little bit of a twisted Totoro. I don't know if you're familiar with Totoro at all.
No, I'm not.
Miyazaki is a Japanese animator, so he has there's a kids movie. So it's it almost looks a little bit like that, sort of the same concept, but very creepy.
Okay.
And I
Great.
loved it. I thought it was perfect.
That was the idea. Creepy was what we were going for.
Did a great job. Same thing with now New Year, New You. That was definitely very eerie right from the start.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about what you did to kind of set that tone, because it was in a very nice house.
It was in a nice house. The idea was that, these girls were getting together again after not having been together in quite some time. And so it was a vacation home that a tragedy took place inside of years ago. And so they were revisiting the house to kind of just reunite and get together. But it just starts out sort of, and there's one girl who's like really successful and everybody's sort of jealous of her. And so they really want to stick it to her. And there's this plan that gets hatched and it proceeds to get really ugly.
Very ugly, very fast.
Yeah,
yes. That was another, and this is another twist that they get me on with this show every single time. It starts out and it's Danielle Williams, she's very successful.
Yeah.
And there's Kayla, Chloe, and Lex,
Right.
who's short for Lexus.
Yeah.
And she has the scar on her face. So they're kind of teasing to how she got that with that incident that happened in the house.
Years
and I
ago.
thought, years ago.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so cool because it keeps you being like, oh my gosh, what happened? I also really love the way they started the episode with you see a dead girl floating in the pool. So you know something is about to go down.
Yeah.
But I love how they start and then they go back and show you how it ends.
How it ends, yeah. Basically, we
that.
walk you through it. We start with the ending and we allow you to see what happened once upon a time, and then we sort of take you back and let you and walk you through the steps to the present.
Yes, and I love the way they do that. And a big thing that got me is I started this episode thinking that it was just about jealousy.
Yeah.
Because it's what it seems. It seems like Lex is very, very jealous of Danielle and her success. And and she clearly is, even towards the end of it.
She clearly is.
But it really does the show really does kind of trick you into thinking that Danielle is a good person. And she is not.
She is not a good person.
She is a psychopath.
She's a bit twisted.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. Reading the script, did that are there certain things that draw you in?
Yeah, it's how do we tell this story? What are the nuances? First of all, the first thing I have to do is get together with the location manager and find the right house that helps us tell the story. It has to have the right geography. We're looking for a home. It had to have a pool because obviously I don't know if all of you have seen it, but in case you haven't, I'm not going to give it away. But it needed to have a pool because of that scene.
Right.
And, and there needed to be windows, and it was interesting. The window needed to sort of look out onto the pool because of that scene. And so that's the first thing that kind of gets going.
So you have all these little boxes that you have to check.
Absolutely.
How many locations do you typically look at before you find the right place?
It depends. I mean, it's got to be right in a certain aspect, but then, I would say it's at least 10.
Wow.
Yeah, at least 10 locations. For that one, I mean, 'cause there's just tons of houses out there, and this particular episode took place in that house, and that was it. That was the only location, so we were able to see as many houses. I looked at a lot of really cool houses. The director loved this particular house, and so we went with it.
I definitely enjoyed the layout of it, which I feel like especially a movie like this where you're being chased around the house, you definitely like to have a big house.
Yeah,
a lot of
absolutely.
places to hide.
Yep.
I thought it was really awesome that they had a steam room. Was that something that was a requirement as well, or did they it had it so they used it?
It was scripted.
It was,
It was
okay.
scripted, and it wasn't really a steam room. It was a bathroom downstairs that had the house had this weird sort of opening, which was like kind of an archway, and we turned that into the steam sauna.
That's
The steam room.
great job.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I thought it was a sauna.
It was not. It was a bathroom, and it was weird. It was a really large bathroom, but it didn't have your standard. I think the toilet was in another part of another room, but it had this sort of garden towards the back of it, and it was all tiled, and so it was perfect in that we were able to use that.
Yeah.
That room.
Yeah, it's not often that you see a bathroom with no toilet and
Yeah,
made
yeah.
of all tile with a garden.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And I mean,
that
it did
works.
have the toilet, but it was in another room off to the side. The bathroom was that big. I would say it was about as
Interesting.
big as this room.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, that sounds like
Yeah.
a really nice house.
And it was great. I mean, we played a lot with mirrors in that episode. We strategically placed, mirrors so that we could also play off of the girls running around and, cutting down certain hallways or running down the stairs. And so, we were able to really take advantage of a lot of things. But that was a part of that was, I think, the bit of that house that was really cool. That was the most, I would say, fascinating thing about that house is that it had this room that could just become a sauna, and so we chose it and went with it. Yeah.
And that was a big part of the episode too. You think for a moment that they actually might die in there. It's
Yeah.
Kayla and Lexi,
Yeah.
or Alexis.
Yeah.
And Chloe, I have to say this. I am a little bit disappointed in how quickly Danielle turned Chloe.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
goodness gracious.
But she yeah.
I understood where she was coming from.
Yeah, exactly. She played on her.
She
She
her
played on her
insecurities.
weaknesses,
Yeah.
insecurities. Yeah, and she fell for it.
It was one of those things where I was like, oh, Chloe.
Don't
Why?
do it.
Chloe, why?
Yeah.
Chloe, why?
Yeah, right. You're strong, but you need her to tell you you're strong. 'Cause
Yeah.
she's just trying to trick you.
So seriously, it's so evident. But
Right.
when you're in those situations, it's a completely different
Yeah.
story.
Yep.
And I like that, and that was another twist that I really liked, that they kind of made it this 2-on-2
Yeah.
versus just the one psychopath against all the other girls.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
Because it might not have worked that way.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And I absolutely was thinking that it was going to be Alexis that snapped. Through a lot of the episode, I was thinking she was just going to be really jealous and she was going to snap and end up killing someone. And then the
Yeah.
other girls were going to be like, oh my God, what did you do?
Yeah.
And-
Yeah.
But it ended up taking me for a wild ride from start to finish.
Right.
But I loved it.
How did you feel about Franky getting murdered?
Oh, that was sad.
Yeah, that was crazy,
That
right?
that was really, yeah, that was insane. That was really sad. The way they did that
I know.
too. That
Yeah.
stabbing.
Yeah,
Oof.
that was crazy.
I definitely sometimes like to do like my favorite murder of the episode.
Right.
That was my favorite.
That was
one.
my favorite too.
Yeah.
I mean, so unsuspecting. She comes to visit her girlfriend and ends up dead.
Yeah. And it's so that one there weren't a lot of redeeming qualities in a lot of the characters.
Right.
Except for Kayla.
Yeah.
She was my favorite.
Yeah, yeah.
So her death hit me the hardest, where I was like, oh, not Kayla.
Yeah.
And she was the first to die.
She was the first to die. Yeah.
And because she was the most normal.
She was the most normal. Yeah.
It seems like Alexis had some real problems, understandably so.
Yeah.
But after the death of her friend.
Yeah.
Or, well, the suicide of her friend, really. Which I'm finally glad that they got to that. Because
Yeah.
throughout the episode, you spend the whole time on the edge of your seat being like, what happened?
Yeah, what
Tell
happened?
me.
The twist. They're going to
twist.
reveal it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it gets me every time. I mean, Puka had the craziest twist.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Puka was great.
That
We
episode
just
really
didn't,
got me.
we didn't know what Puka was going to do, if Puka was naughty or nice. Puka had mood swings and,
Well, on top of that, just the character
yeah.
being in a car accident.
Yeah.
And is he in a coma? Is he dead?
Yeah,
Was he, when did he see all of that?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
all of the characters that he saw that were brought into his, like, coma. We called it a coma dream, but we
Yeah,
weren't
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, he, was dead.
Was that the official that he was dead?
Yeah, yeah. He
Oh,
was,
I'm so
it
glad
was-
to get that cleared
yeah,
up.
Yeah, he was dead and sort of, I think, yeah, if I remember correctly. But yeah, there's so many twists and turns. And I just have to say, though, Nacho, the director, is brilliant and really creative and was not afraid to try different things on the spot, and so we just went with it. And I love that kind of sort of, I mean, he's a savant, this guy, so he'll go on to do great things, and I totally want to work with him again. But he just had this whole thing, and on the day we'd be there, and we're like, oh my God, what are we doing? And in the editing room, it all cut together, and it made so much sense, and it just became a masterpiece. It's my
certainly
favorite.
did.
Yeah,
That's your favorite?
It's my favorite
Of Into the Dark.
of the series.
Okay.
That we've shot so far.
So far,
because we
so-
have 7 more
That you're still shooting.
that we have to shoot.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Well, I mean, obviously it's one a year, so we have 3.
it's one a month.
One a month. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. Why do we
yeah,
keep
yeah.
saying one a year? So we've had 3 so far.
We've had, well, I've done 3, but we had The Body, we had Puka, Thanksgiving, I think I didn't do that one. So there are 2 that I didn't do. So,
Okay.
and I think one of them is aired. So Puka, New Year's is New Year, New You, which we're talking about. And then, is it Father's Day?
Father's Day.
Yeah, yeah. Down is Valentine's Day. Father's Day is what we are about to shoot.
About to shoot.
That's
and then
Crossing.
Crossing is 4th of July.
Crossing is 4th of July.
Okay,
Yes, yes,
great.
yes.
What's August? Do you know? Because that was one thing that we were trying to figure out, what holiday in August. We
Yeah.
were thinking maybe back to school.
Back to school
But I don't know if
will
that's really a
probably be
holiday.
September.
September. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm not quite sure what we'll get
For August.
for August.
I'm excited to see.
Right, yeah. And it's weird because, you know, The Body came out right before Halloween. New Year, New You. Puka came out Christmas. New Year, New You came out, aired on, I think, the 28th of December.
It was December,
It was,
yeah.
it was December. So, you know, depending on the air dates, you know, it's sometimes a little earlier than the actual month.
But still, it fits in
But
with
it
that
fits
holiday.
within the holiday.
Yeah. I think
Absolutely.
that's such a cool concept.
Yeah.
I thought this was such a good idea. And and I'm so excited that you're doing so many of these episodes, because all of them have been so fantastic.
Thank you.
And you've set such a great tone. I think is so important. Like you
Yeah.
said, you're telling a visual story, and it really shows. And when you're really invested in that, it makes it so much more fun to watch.
Right. And it's also great that each one is different.
Yes.
You know, unlike episodic television where, you know, where you're shooting a lot of the same sets over and over again, you're telling the story, but just a different twist on it. But this is a completely different movie every month. 90 minutes with 2 commercial breaks. And and the shooting schedule is somewhere between usually 15 to 18 days. I mean, it's really it's quick.
That is so fast.
Yeah, it's really quick. It's a quick shooting schedule.
So you should have most likely we'll have the entire year done well before the year is done.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
That's the plan. Their delivery dates. We have to get the episodes into the network. But I think we'll be finally done with all of the holidays in July.
And okay, that's exciting. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, so July we'll have everything
Yeah.
ready to go.
Yeah, exactly.
So you've also done a lot of, I mean, your resume is extensive. You've done television, you've done movies, you've done music videos,
Yeah.
you've done tours and
Yeah.
commercials.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you have a favorite thing that you like to work on, or do you just kind of love to do everything?
You know what? I started out in commercials and music videos. I just happened to fall into that. I'm a storyteller, so I love the narrative. I love movies and you know, television and things like that, and you're telling a story. Commercials and music videos, you really are, I mean, you're telling the story of the song in a music video, but it's not a narrative. It's not scripted. It's, you know, and commercials are just, they're great, but I prefer film and television.
Film and television.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, it shows, because we got some
Thank you.
really great episodes. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
This was a really fun episode
Yeah.
to watch. I seriously cannot wait for the next one. I love that it's monthly. It feels like it's such an easy watch, and
Yeah.
you're so ready by the time the next one comes out.
Yeah, that's great. And we love that the viewers are sticking with us and just tuning in, because I guess we're getting it right.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I feel like it seems like it's getting better and better ratings wise
Yeah.
as each episode goes on.
Yep.
Which is, and I think the coolest thing about that too is if you see one, maybe you see New Year, New You first, you can go back and watch the other ones
Oh,
later.
absolutely.
Because it doesn't matter when you watch
Yeah.
them. You can watch them all out of
Right.
order. If
Yep.
you're a crazy holiday person like
They're
me.
downloaded.
Yeah. You can just easily go back. If you're a crazy holiday person like me, you can watch them on the holiday.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
on Christmas, I'm like, Christmas themed everything.
Absolutely.
Including horror movies.
Just go to the website.
Yes.
Go to Hulu.
And you can watch them all. And I'm so excited. So Valentine's Day is our next one, Down. So now I can look as I watch it and be like, I know who designed all of this.
Absolutely.
We spoke with him.
Yep.
Thank you thank you so much for being here with us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
And next episode, we will hopefully have the entire panel with us when we talk about our really fun Valentine's Day horror movie, which I love because Valentine's Day is not my favorite holiday. Even though I am married and in love, it's not my favorite of the cheesy holidays, so I love that we're putting a horror spin on it. I'm going to watch it on Valentine's
It's
Day.
a really good one. The entire movie takes place inside of an elevator. So there's a lot of tricks. There's, some climbing through the shaft, and it's quite disastrous.
Oh, that's a great little teaser.
Yeah, it's really good.
Oh my gosh.
It's a good one.
Okay, guys. I'm super looking forward to the next one. I can't believe I have to wait actually only like 2 weeks. A month?
In
2 weeks,
fact,
a month?
February 14th, I think is...
okay, so we're just about a month.
Weeks.
It's just a couple weeks.
Yeah.
We're getting really, really, really
We're
close. We're getting really close. Anyway, we'll see you all next month. Thank you so much for joining us. Until then, Cecil, where can the fans find you if they want to check out more of your work or just interact with you on Instagram, Twitter, or any of your...
I'm on Instagram, I_M_Gentry Design, and I'm on Twitter, Gentry Design, and Facebook, and everywhere else.
Awesome. And I'm Xia Anderson. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Xia_land. It's XIA_land. If you happen to like Marvel, you can also catch me every Sunday nights at 9 or 10 p.m. for Marvel TV Weekly. Thank you so much. We will see you all next month. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.